Well, hello, hello, hello. We are back again, and it's nice having a little bit of time in here to create. Although I should be making jewelry, I am still playing with everything else and having fun. So I wanted to keep on the same theme of colors that I use, because I want to do what other people do, and they just make a bunch of different canes in the same color category, and that way you can mix and match, you know, when you make your necklaces and your jewelry, and they all kind of match. Because I always make one color, and then I'll make another color, and then I've got a bunch of stuff that I don't really have enough to make sets with. So I am using the Sculpey, this is the Souffle seaglass and the pumpkin, and I ran out of Igloo, so I'm using the Souffle ivory mixed with Sculpey Primo white. I don't know if that's going to work as well, but I kind of wanted to use to make a flower again, but this one not quite like we did yesterday. I just don't know if that's going to blend too much into it, and I wanted the white to kind of stand out, because this was our flower that we did yesterday, and I like the way the white stands out. So what we got is we're going to just make a bunch of canes. I'm just going to roll these through the pasta machine and make a Skinner blend with all these colors. And I really want to try Susan Bailey's her thing that she did. If you remember, she used my multi-cutters. I made those beautiful flowers. I really want to do that. So I might try one of those today as well. But I'm going to do these, and I'm going to make a couple of them, because I'd like to use some of them for some leaves, maybe another flower, maybe a kaleidoscope cane. So I doubt those are all going to be on one video, but this is what we're going to be working on within the next couple days, and our videos will all be pretty similar with the colors. So let me go ahead and throw these through the machine, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back. I'll move all these over here. And we have three really pretty canes here. Or not canes yet, they are Skinner blends. This was ivory with the seaglass. And I don't have a lot of ivory in the middle on this one, but that's okay, because we're going to put a nice dark petal in the middle, and that's going to be a flower. So I'm going to set this aside. This might be a couple part video. Okay, so we have that one, and then we have this one, and this one we're going to do the same. We're going to do, I think, I call it coral. It just reminds me more of a coral than pumpkin. But we're going to put that pumpkin into the center on this one. Okay, and then on this one, we're gonna wrap it up like this. And that way the white is gonna be in the center. And I'm thinking of doing a latte and an ivory as well, just to give it a little bit of an offset with these colors. So I may pause you another minute. And as you can see, I've got these thin pieces. I was thinking of making a feather and maybe making a leaf out of those. So on this, we're just going to crunch up some of this here and just put it on areas that might be missing a little bit. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got those and those that we're going to work with today. So let's find the latte that I had. I think it's out here somewhere. And we may have to pause it again. Okay, let me go ahead and pause. I'm going to go ahead and get that on the pasta machine and figure out what we're going to do with that. Okay, so we found some cowboy. So let me show you what I found. I found some cowboy along with the latte. So I went, oh, these will be really cool. So that's what we got. But the way we're going to put this together is we're going to make a nice little log of an ivory. And we're going to put this right in the center of both of them. I may use a little more. And I may wrap this in some black. I feel like I have no room here. Okay, so I'm going to grab some black souffle, and this has got to be the worst clay out of all of them. It reminds me of that blackout clay. It just gets all over your hands and you can't get rid of it. So this is at a number 3. All right, let's set my camera back where it belongs. Hopefully I am in view here. So what we're going to do today is a kaleidoscope cane. Unless it looks good on its own, then I probably will not go farther than that. And no, we don't have this planned as usual. So whatever it is whatever it is. Try and be a little neater today since I'm not in a rush. I'm being a good girl and I'm trying not to run my air conditioner, trying to run the swamp cooler. But I seriously feel like I'm melting in here. I've got a swamp cooler, so we're using that because we may live in the desert, but we're still LA County. And LA County, if anybody knows, is extremely expensive. And the utilities are just outrageous. I don't feel like a $500 to $600 electric bill. Okay. So look at that. That's going to look really nice, I think. Something a little different. Alright, so now we're going to do the fun stuff and we're going to reduce these. This one I can probably make 3 or 4 of them out of this one. And then I'll probably add a little bit of black and white in between some of these just to give that little bit of a contrast. So I am going to go do this off camera so you don't have to watch me just roll this. And we will be right back. Alrighty, so there we go. We have all of our pieces cut up. They look really cool together. At least I believe they do. So I've got this strip of just a black and white sandwich, and this is rolled at a number 3. And then what I did was I stacked them, black, white in the middle, and then ran it through again at a number 3. And now I'm just going to roll some of this up. I don't think I'm going to need to use all of it. This will hopefully give us a little bit of contrast. And I'm going to do this about 6 inches, or 3 inches. That way we'll get 2 cuts of it. And then we're going to assemble. Okay, I've got a little thin area right there, so try and bring that back. And then We're going to take one of these big ones. And we're going to open it up with a little knitted needle. And I'm going to close it up. Okay. Go a little deeper, or make this a little more wider. So we're just going to kind of pull up on the sides here and make like a trowel. Okay, so that just adds a little bit of black and white in there. And I obviously used the wrong side of the blade, so get that back to the 1.5. And we're going to do that again, but we're going to do this one a little different. I'm going to cut this in half. This is going to be a lot smaller. Okay, and on this one, we're going to make one of those kind of like little stems. Oh, I wish they'd make a pasta maker with the handles that don't fall out. And again, I keep turning my chair and I keep banging my knee into the table. So sorry about that, because it shakes every time. You know, Amazon Prime Day is, I think it was yesterday and today. So I should get in there and see if I can find a camera holder so that I can mount this somewhere else. Okay, so now we're just going to put that together on this one. Okay, just giving it a little bit of shape, a little bit of color in there, and we're just going to make that into a triangle. And then I think I'm going to do that with one of these. So let's find one that doesn't need a lot of manipulation. And we're going to cut it about right there. Oh, I think I cut the wrong side. So we're going to put that one back. I have a habit of doing that, don't I? Alright, we're going to do it this way. And we're going to take that other half. That might be a little big. Alright, let's get this a little nicer. Okay, so we're going to put all this black aside, and now we need to assemble it. So we're going to grab some of this black and white and leave it close to us. Whether I use all of this, I don't know. Gonna have to see how that's gonna work. And this is like not quite in the center the way I wanted it to be. But we're gonna do the best that we can. So I've never worked with just making square. So it's either a circle or it's either a triangle. Does it matter? No. You make it a square and you squish it, it's going to end up turning more into a square. But sometimes it's kind of easier to fit into every place if it's pointed on one end. So that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to point all these. I'm going to do, I've got 3 with the blue on the outside. So we're going to bring this blue in. Not really changing the shape too much. So, no, I just don't know if those dots are bigger than they should be. But we're going to kind of roll this around it. So we're going to make this really tall. Again, I do not have a plan for this, so if you're wondering where I'm going with this, I'm not. I'm just laying them wherever I think they'll look good. And then we'll just see how it turns out. Oops, no, I don't want that one. I want that one. I'm going to overlap those two. Okay. We may not even use all that I've cut out. I don't know yet. That's the one thing about this, is I make a bunch of them, but there's a lot of times that I don't use it all. Wow, I just cannot pick that up today. Okay, so okay, I'll do that. It makes it a little harder when you don't use too many colors. If you have like 6 or 7 different colors in there, you can kind of give it a little bit more, I don't know, you can kind of move things around a little bit more and have more colors going through it. By doing it this way with only a few added colors, sometimes it makes it a little difficult. To figure out where to place it. But again, I don't have to use all of these if I don't want to. You know, I could just do that right there. Will I? Probably not. either way, you're not wasting anything because you can go back and make a second kaleidoscope cane, which I'll probably do with that. See, I don't know if I just want to lay that right there and fill in that section, or if I just want to come like that and lay that down. I think that's what we're going to end up doing. And then we're going to take this and we're going to push that down like that. So I think I'm going to add one more black and white strip right here across the top. These are going to go in another one. So we're going to put that just right across these two. Okay, and that's going to go like that. And that one's like that. That one's like that. Nope. Needs to be a little longer. So we're kind of folding that into that one. Alright, so there's not a whole lot to that. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. Now, the fun part is always the reducing. So we're going to start like this, and we're going to make sure that that blue stays in the middle up on top. That's going to be our whitest area. Okay, and most of this is souffle, so I'm hoping it will all kind of mesh together because the black and white were primo. Okay, so that's the top. So I'm gonna go 3 inches, but I want to go farther than the 3 inches just to compensate for what I'm going to lose on the ends. Okay, so always pull from the middle. I always turn it around. I also stretch it. Okay, so I think we're about 3 inches. Looks good about right there. So you know me, I like to make my kaleidoscopes more of the square. And then I do the round, just because I never can figure out how to use the round. Although square, it limits you just as much. So I could either butt the back ends together and make my square, or I can come across then go one more time and make these a little smaller. Again, if you're like me and you're going to reduce these really small, you want to stop at a certain point. You don't want to keep going until they're, you don't want to go till they're exactly how you like it, because if you do that, then you're just going to lose everything. By the time you reduce it, to as small as you want, you'll lose all this. So now I just got to figure out how I want this to look. This reminds me of a little bit of a sunset. I still think I want to go one more. So we're going to put these together. And I know that these sides are not going to be perfect. Just line them up the best you can. Okay. And here we go. I'll do one more. And then we'll cut it in two. And then reduce it so that we can cut it into 4 pieces. And again, I'm going to compensate for the little bit that's going to be off. When I make that final cut, I will even it all out. I leave it on there because it's kind of already doing its thing, and if you cut it, it just seems like you've got more waste that you got to keep cutting. So this way, I only have to make one cut with it. Okay, so we are at like 3 1/4. So we're going to go a little longer on each side. Okay. So it's about right there. Again, cut it in half, and now we're going to butt the ends up. Just trying to figure out which way I like better. I'm not sure I like that one. I really like this, but I don't know. Okay, so that would be a really nice flower in the middle if I did it that way. Okay, because you see these 4, so there'll be another 4 more. And it's going to end up being like this. Or like that, which is pretty much the same thing. Or I bypass. Yeah, see, that one I didn't like at all. So we're definitely not going to butt them up that way. So I'm either going to do it this way, with the smaller petals on the outside and the bigger petals, or the bigger petals, and I'm thinking I like this better. Okay, so now the fun part begins, where you try and make this into a square. So you're just going to kind of bring one forward, bring one backwards. And yes, I know it's hard to see because I haven't cut that side off yet. Okay. And there goes my dogs. And then I always use Teresa Pandora's little bracelet templates. It just seems to really help get these squared so that the top is all even. I need a little wider on this. Okay. So there we go. Now we're just going to cut the ends off. And I know it looks like a lot of waste, but you got to remember it was 2 different sides. So the waste is not that bad. Alright. And then this we're going to try and make into a Natasha bead, or it'd be really colors to make into lentils as well. Okay, so I'm going to pause this for now, and I need 4 separate pieces, so I'm going to do, we're going to go to 6 inches, That'll give me 1.5. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll be back so we can cut it one more time. Alrighty, so I think we're where we need to go. Actually, we're at 7 inches, so we're a little bigger. But now we're using these handy dandy bracelet templates again. It's wonderful to square things off. Okay, we're going to do one more. Yeah, I got a little longer than it needed to be, but it's going to give me the leeway to cut a lot of this off. So I need to cut like all the way to there. So actually we're going to cut a little bit right there. And I'm going to cut off a little bit. And we can use that for something else. So of course we're going to go 1.5. And I don't think I cut that straight, but oh well. Alright, so these are our pieces. Let's try this one. Okay, so that's going to be, if we do it like that, again, yeah, definitely don't like that. I don't know why I have such a hard time deciding how I want these to look. It's really not that difficult, but I sure make it difficult. And these aren't really going to be any different than what the other side was. So we're going to put this back together. See, this one right here is smaller than that one, so I know I don't have the right one there. Okay, and then this one is a little tiny bigger. Okay, that one matches up nice. And we're going to do this one now. This one's not quite matching up. Try the other side of it. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so we're just going to do a really quick reduction. I'm not going to go really small with this. For one, it's extremely soft. So we're going to wait a little bit. We're just going to meld it all together, and then I'll do one cut. By the time I'm ready to use it, it's going to be half the size, if not a little more. Okay. So now we're just going to cut off this end just to make it even. Yeah, it's getting really soft, so I don't want to touch it. And there we have our Kaleidoscope cane. Gave me a little bit more of a flower than I would have wanted, but as you can see, as far as you reduce it more and more and more, all these elements are going to get a lot more tiny. So I probably won't go much smaller than this and just cut them up in tile. So I hope you like that, and I guess we'll talk to you in the next video. We've got a whole bunch more stuff to do. So we'll talk to you then. Bye.